Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're doing the ECMWF 42-day forecast for today's video. So this is a new feature on the channel, newish. We've been doing it now for about a month, I think. So we're looking at the ECMWF extended model, updates every Tuesday and Friday. And we're looking on Tuesday as well. That's more focused on like a European outlook for the next 4 weeks. This is like UK and Ireland based outlook. And yeah, we're going to look at mean sea level pressure anomalies, 500 millibar height anomalies, temperature and rainfall anomalies for the next 6 weeks. It will take us more or less to the end of, or to the middle, just before Christmas, really. Into the second half of December, not to the end of December, but into the second half of December, stopping just short of Christmas. So I shall get on with that for you very shortly. Just to say, it's been a busy old day at GavsWeatherVids. Friday's very, very busy now here at GavsWeatherVids. So the first video was January Friday, of course, month-end look ahead with the Japanese and CFS B2 models, and also the 10 to 14 day update with all of regular features. I'm going to be live streaming after 10 o'clock tonight, so we shall see you then with the GFS 18Z. We're on the ECMWF INT website. Thank you so much to them for supplying us with these charts, opening up their treasure trove of data, but until like a month ago, we could not access. Right, so this is the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. Takes us from the 9th to the 16th of November. The coming week, or next week, we'll have high pressure out to our east. So a large ridge of high pressure to the east, low pressure is out to the west, and that shall draw up a very mild southerly wind. So southerly winds pushing up the western side of Europe, and will deliver above average temperatures, you would have thought, to the UK and to Ireland. This is a 500 millibar height anomaly from the North Pole view down. Again, just confirming the idea that there's like a wall of high pressure next week to our east, with low pressure to the west into the Arctic. The flow of the jet's going to do something a little bit like that. So we pull up those very mild southerly winds across the western side of Europe. The temperature anomaly is going to be above average for northern and western Europe. So yes, I mean, UK and Ireland's not alone. Most parts of Western Europe will have above average temperatures next week, from the 9th to the 16th of November. Particularly cool over towards the Black Sea into the west of Russia. So very often the way things balance out is that if one side of Europe does one thing with the temperature, in this case it's warmer than average in the west, then the other side of Europe, in this case the east, will be colder than average. That's just one of the ways that, you know, the weather balances itself out. So yeah, above average temperatures, mild average in the north, west Europe, cooler than average on the eastern side of Europe next week. And of course, with high pressure dominating, it's going to be pretty dry through most parts of Europe as well. So for Ireland and the UK, we're talking about drier than average weather next week. Only a little bit drier than average at Ireland and the UK. There will be some rain around, but generally it's drier than average next week. And it's going to be milder than average as well, so dry and mild with southerly winds next week. Right, let's go through to week 2. So it's going to take us from the 16th through to 23rd of November for mean sea level pressure anomalies. So yeah, we're going to have high pressure still dominating the weather, just a large ridge here sitting across much of northern and western Europe as well. So I mean, there's not much more to say really, is there? High pressure is going to be dominating across the vast majority of Europe next week, or in week 2, I suppose, due to the 16th, 23rd of November. Week 2, 500 millibar height anomaly again shows above average height sitting across most parts of northern and western Europe. So yeah, the high pressure fest is set to continue. You expect this to be another pretty mild week as well. So week 2 temperature anomalies from the 16th to the 23rd of November, they're coming out above average for many northern and western parts of Europe once more. And the precipitation anomaly in week 2, well, obviously with high pressure dominating, it's bound to be drier than average. So another dry and mild week coming up really in the second week for Ireland and for the UK as well. Right, moving through to week 3, will there be any change into the latter part of November? Let's have a look. This is week 3, mean sea level pressure anomaly from the 23rd to the 30th of November. A little bit of a change here. The high pressure looks like it's slipping southwards into southern Europe. Lower pressure coming back into the north. Probably reverting to more of a westerly flow here during the last week of November. So that could be, it's probably still be quite mild actually, although there's a little bit of high pressure up towards Green. But I would imagine this is still quite mild. Westerly and maybe just a little bit more unsettled. The week 3 500 millibar high anomaly, again going with that sort of idea of low pressure or below average heights developing to the north, above average heights slipping southwards. It's bringing the wind back into the west, and so yeah, we go Atlantic driven and we go westerly in week 3. Week 3 temperature anomaly. Whoops, that's wrong. Week 3 temperature anomaly looks like that. This is 23rd to the 30th of November. So not as mild. Still a little bit on the milder than average side, but not as mild in week 3. It's going a little bit cooler out into the North Atlantic as well. So temperature's just beginning to lower a little bit into week 3. And week 3 precipitation anomaly from the 23rd to the 30th of November is again near normal. So it's wetter than average to our north, it's drier than average to our south. Just a suggestion that this is a bit of a transitional week, I think, away from like the high pressure domination to something a little bit more changeable, a little bit more lively, probably still quite mild, but just a little bit more unsettled. Week 4 means lower pressure anomaly takes us from the 30th of November to the 7th of December. 30th of November to 7th of December. It's a very, very busy day today. I hardly know what I'm saying. So we've got low pressure to our north. High pressure is continuing to slip southwards into the far south of Europe. It's just gradually, I think, becoming a little bit more unsettled here. It's a slow old process, really, though. Even now, it's not overly unsettled, but very, very gradually as we come to the end of November and into the start of December, it's possibly just going a little bit more unsettled. Again, below average heights with a 500 millibar height anomaly to the north of Scotland, above average heights slipping down into North Africa. We might be pulling in like a bit of a northwesterly, so it might be starting to go a little bit cooler here as well. Perhaps a little bit of a northwest-southeast alignment to the jet stream. So a little bit more unsettled, a little bit colder as we go into the beginning of December. Perhaps the temperature anomaly for week 4, 30th of November, 7th of December, looks like that. So it's cooler than average out to our west, it's milder than average to our east. We are sort of near normal. So again, nothing overly dramatic going on, really, just probably, you know, feeling a little bit more like winter. And the precipitation anomaly, again, is very close to average. It's a bit wetter than average to our north, a little bit drier than average out to our northwest. Week 5, so we're going further and further out. Remember, the further out we go, the more unreliable this is getting, and the weaker the signal we'll get as well. Week 5 means lower pressure anomaly from the 7th to the 14th of December. Quite a big change here. We've got a mid-Atlantic ridge now starting to appear. High pressure is beginning to develop out to our northwest. There's no particularly evident trough of low pressure, but you would probably expect a trough to be through here somewhere. And a dip in the jet stream means that we could be doing something a little bit like that with the flow and with the jet. So we might be pulling down some slightly colder air from the north. It's possible we could be starting to pull in some slightly colder winds from the north as high pressure sets up out to our west. Let's see how the 500 millibar height anomaly looks. So again, it's got the ridge out to the west of the country. Now, with this, we could still be bringing in pretty mild air from off the Atlantic, really. We could still be westerly even now. But I think, you know, on balance, on the sort of cold side of that ridge, we're probably pulling in some air from the north. So it probably is getting a little bit colder there as we go into week 5. So temperature anomaly also looks a little bit colder as well from the 7th to the 14th of December. That's just going a bit below average for Ireland and for the UK as well. And then week 5, rainfall anomaly. With the Atlantic blocked off, it's a relatively dry week, so a little bit drier than average in week 5. And then lastly, we go through to week 6, which is going to take us from the 14th to the 21st of December, so just short of Christmas. This is how we're looking. So that mid-Atlantic ridge is pulling further away from us into the far middle of the Atlantic, just south of Greenland. Trough of low pressure through here, very, very weak signal. I mean, this could still be a little bit cold, actually. We might still be bringing in the winds from the northwest, but it is a very, very weak signal, it has to be said. So I'm not sure there's enough there to go on, really, to say, but it would be cold. But the Atlantic does look a little bit blocked. It certainly doesn't look like a classic sort of zonal setup with high pressure around the Azores and low pressure around Iceland. But that's probably about as far as we can say, as much as we can say. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So again, we've got the mid-Atlantic ridge going towards Newfoundland. The low pressure north of Scotland probably does send the flow and the jet stream on a northwest-southeast alignment. Although, again, you know, it could be westerly, so you wouldn't rule out the chance that it's relatively mild, really. It's too far away to be able to say either way. It just depends how much amplification you get of the ridge, really. The temperature anomaly is, again, cooler average just out to our west, near normal through most parts of Europe, near normal or no signal. And then lastly, for week 6, precipitation anomaly from 14th to 21st of December looks like that. So, again, very, very weak signals. Does look dry in the middle of the North Atlantic. That's where we've got our mid-Atlantic ridge through here, which we think could send a jet stream on the northwest-southeast alignment and allow some cooler snaps to come in from the north. It's about what we expect, you know, in a landing in winter. We expect to get a northwest-southeast alignment to jet stream, a bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge, some amplification in the Atlantic, and possibly start to pull in some colder northern winds. But these are weeks 5 and 6. Before that, it looks like at least weeks 1, 2, maybe in week 3 is going to be pretty mild and you know, with southerly winds, really. So certainly till late November, and this is, you know, the case so across most models, actually, till late November, it looks like we're in for quite a mild time of it, and then possibly signs of a little bit of a change. So something initially a little bit more unsettled, probably still mild late in November, and then by early December to mid-December, perhaps going a bit colder. But there's no signal, you know, for like December to remember type cold here. There's no sign of that. There's no sign of very extensive northern blocking. Any colder weather that we do get, if this is right, is in the form of cold snaps as the mid-Atlantic ridge pulls itself up to south of Greenland for slipping southwards again, which would suggest like northerly topplers and that sort of thing, and brief northerly incursions and outbreaks. But there's not really much sign at the moment of like December to remember levels of northern blocking. Nevertheless, it's been a while since we've had a seasonable December, so even a December that did contain some cold snaps and some sort of brief snowy intervals, I think would be like a welcome change for most of you who I know are waiting for colder and more wintry conditions. So if we was to get that sort of December where we get a few cold snaps and a little bit of snow, I think a lot of you would enjoy that, even if it's not to like very severe type weather. Right, but it's all experimental, so anything over beyond 5 to 7 days, any forecast beyond 5 to 7 days is fraught with health warnings, comes with danger, so don't take it too seriously. Right, so that's it for your video uploads today. However, not it for the content, because we're going to be back at 10 o'clock with our Friday night live stream, and we're going to be live streaming the GFS 18Z, which will be updating, you know, as we're live streaming, so we'll be having a laugh, and we'll have a look at the GFS 18Z, aka the pub run, and we'll see what that's got to show, and I shall see you live therefore after 10 o'clock tonight. But for this video, and for today's videos actually, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.